everybody, I'm the Pop Song Professor, and welcome to my channel where we make English class awesome by talking about song lyrics. I have asked you guys to give me your favorite bands so that I could rank them. Prepare to weep. And there were over 600 suggestions, and only 78% of them were like 21 Pilots, which is honestly less than I expected, so that's cool. But basically, I tried to pick bands that I knew at least a little bit of something about, and to be honest, my bias is going to sneak in here, but at the same time, this is not about favorites. If you disagree, tell me what you think I got wrong or right in the comments down below. Tell me what you would have ranked your favorite band as, while being unbiased like I'm gonna try to do. Keep in mind too that a C grade is average, it's not necessarily a diss. And with that being said, let's go ahead and begin. All right, Salo, Faulina, and about 1 million of their friends suggested 21 Pilots, and I'm honestly gonna put 21 Pilots at an A grade. 21 Pilots is my favorite band of all time, and I think that they are an A-grade band, catchy, deep, wonderful, incredible, all this good stuff. But I think that time will tell whether they get to the level of S or not. And I think S means super? No, it means subceptional. Superior, we're gonna go with superior. For I don't know how, you know, I've listened to some of their music and I think that they're pretty decent, but I'm gonna probably put them at a C grade, especially compared to a lot of these other bands. I think they still have some proving of themselves to do. And like, they're good, but I don't think that they've like blown me away with anything. My Chemical Romance, I'm gonna give them a solid B. Like, they're really, really good, but they're so specific in genre that I don't know if they have the timelessness and the universality to be an A. Green Day is kind of a tough one because I don't feel like I know enough about them. I'm kind of torn between A and B, but I'm gonna go ahead and say B. I mean, Gorillaz is a good one. I do like Gorillaz a lot. They are one of my favorites for sure, and I'm gonna give them a solid B as well. Panic at the Disco. Panic at the Disco is a tricky one because are we talking about old or new Panic at the Disco? For new Panic, I am torn between a D and an E grade, but just because, you know, my bias might be sticking in there, we're gonna just give it a D, give it the benefit of the doubt, but they're just not that great. Like, it's just so shallow, it's so uninteresting. Brendan Urie is just out there to glorify himself, and I could care less. I'm not here for it. Old Panic though, my gosh, that is a tough call between A and B. I'm gonna say B. I'm gonna say B just because I'm trying to really save A for some really solid bands. I the Victor. Well, and I think obviously I the Victor, you know, goes from B to A to S to how much higher can we put I the Victor? We're just gonna put her slightly above S. I mean, just incredible. Of Monsters and Men is a solid band for sure. They had a couple of great hits, and I explained a lot of their music back in the good old days. I'm gonna put them at a solid C. Paramore. Where do you put Paramore? I don't think Paramore is at the level of My Chemical Romance and some of those others. I think they're really good, but I don't know. Not as huge a fan of them, and like, they're good, but I don't know if they have the versatility of some of these other bands. The 1975. I love the 1975. They put out some really solid, heartfelt lyrics, and I think that they're definitely up there on the A, like true artists at heart. Good stuff. Coldplay, thanks Samuel for suggesting this one. Wherever I put Coldplay, April won't be happy unless it's at the very top. I think a solid A band. They've been around for a long time. They make really good stuff. And even though I don't really like listening to them, I recognize how incredible they are. Pentatonix, Cartoon High. I'm not the biggest fan of Pentatonix. I've never really enjoyed any of their original music, and I just don't really care all that much about covers. In my personal favorites list, I'd put them at D, but just because I recognize the skill that goes into what they do and that they are actually legitimately loved by people, I'll put it at C. I mean, do we need to argue about where the Beatles go? I mean, obviously the Beatles are right at the top. They're right up there in S, just a hair below I the Victor. Do we even need to talk about, like, they've done so much interesting things. They've got such a wide versatility of music, the level of acclaim and fame and success, and Come Together right now over me. Like, that's such a good song, and there's so many other good songs. I mean, they've stood the test of time, and I think that's what S stands for, actually, is stood the test of time. Now, Nirvana, I'm not sure if they are at the level of the Beatles. They're probably not, but have they stood the test of time? I feel like they maybe have a little bit more standing of the test of time to go, and it would be hard for me personally to say that Nirvana was better than Coldplay. Dude, Florence and the Machine, 100 Years, that is a solid band, and I love absolutely love the stuff that she puts together. Like, she's got an artist's soul for sure, and I feel like she's straddling the line between A and B, but at the same time, I think B is just a safer place to put her. So good. Her Big God song last year was incredible, and I can't wait to see what else she does. Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish. If we're gonna talk lyrical content, I think she's firmly in the C range. If we're gonna talk musical content, I think she would be in the B range. Just because I'm more about the lyrics, I'm gonna put her in C. I think that it's also partially because she's so young, we just haven't seen all that she's capable of. I'm not all on that Billie Eilish hype train, but I'm more than happy to jump on if it seems like the right call to make. Okay, Queen is definitely a band that has stood the test of time. Queen is right up here next to the Beatles. I mean, especially when you put out a song like Bohemian Rhapsody, like 3 different songs all smushed into one, and just like, it's so crazy. There's so much good stuff. Fall Out Boy, I feel like this is the one that you guys are gonna hate me on because I just really could kind of care less about Fall Out Boy. I don't know, they're probably just average, but I hesitate to put them. I feel like there's old Fall Out Boy and there's new Fall Out Boy. Old Fall Out Boy must have been so great. It must have been great to be listening to music when Fall Out Boy was putting out music originally. And so I think probably just for the sake of the memories of who they were in the past to you guys, I'm gonna put them at the C level. But me personally, as far as like their more recent stuff, I would be more likely to put it at D because I just don't care. Vampire Weekend. Okay, so Vampire Weekend, I have listened to them, not so much recently, but I've listened to them a lot in the past. And I would put them at a solid B because very, very artsy, very interesting. They jump into some topics with lyrics, and the music is always so unique and so like verging on experimental. Just, it's really good stuff. AJR, this is gonna be one of the most controversial because I feel like everybody thinks that I'm a huge AJR fan, but honestly, after I kind of like dove deeper into Weak, and as I was listening to their most recent album, I've become less and less of a fan. But for now, I would put them pretty squarely just at, they're almost C, I think. They're not as bad as New Panic. You know what, New Panic needs to just hop down a tier because it's messing up all this other stuff. New Panic is a firm E because it's boring. So AJR can be the one lone D band. They could get better, but they've just got to stop being so derivative of themselves, and they've got to stop being so like, hey, this is another millennial pump up song. You can adult. Woo! Linkin Park, this was a mistake. I definitely don't know enough about Linkin Park to be able to make a good call here, so we're gonna put them at the B level with the rest of these guys. Simon and Garfunkel, so good. Simon and Garfunkel are definitely up there in the A area with the rest of those guys. If you want to listen to some solid songwriting, go and listen to what they put together. Like, there's some really good music. Imagine Dragons. If we were talking old Imagine Dragons, it'd be at a comfortable C, but especially with their Evolve album, and then what was it, Origins, I haven't really been able to enjoy it. And then Dan Reynolds just gets kind of like teed off about anything and everything. And he's just like a hyper emotional guy on Twitter, and I don't really know. I'm not getting a lot of thoughtful vibes, and they teamed up with a lot of like industry songwriters, and their music just sounded kind of like it was supposed to be some sort of a copy of Imagine Dragons mixed in with a dash of everybody else. And I don't know. I wasn't a fan. So new Imagine Dragons for me is at a comfortable D, slightly below average. Switchfoot, I haven't listened to a lot of Switchfoot recently, but I would probably put Switchfoot at a comfortable C. Older Switchfoot I would have put at B though. Well, no, actually, yeah, so I should put him at B because that's what I'm thinking of as older Switchfoot. It was solid stuff. 5 Seconds of Summer. Jessica, you've come to the right place. Let's talk about your favorite band, and I apologize in advance because I'm not a huge fan, and I don't get a lot out of their music. And so for me, it's a fight between D and E. Dare I insult you to the point where I put it at the same level as new Panic at the Disco? More like Panic at the make Brendan Urie lots of money, oh. Yeah, honestly for me, 5 Seconds of Summer is at the E level. Not a lot of lyrical depth to what they do. It's a boy band. Probably honestly most of this boils down to the fact that it's a boy band. Bastille. Well, ever since they teamed up with Marshmello, I'm just gonna put them at a C. They had like 1 or 2 good songs, right? One like 2 big songs, and one of them was Happier, so Pompeii would have been like A or B, Happier was like D or E, so we're gonna average it out. Half Alive, the new guys on the scene. Really cool story. Like the lead singer Josh Taylor basically spent a ton of weeks and months just making like a song a week for all of that time, and then he took like the 3 best one and made it into the 3 songs that we all know from Half Alive. And then obviously they put out another one, I think. But it was really, really good. They definitely have not stood the test of time because they've done hardly anything, and everybody's freaking out and being like, that's my favorite band ever, and I just feel like I haven't had time to get to know them. So I'm gonna put them at a, you know, a C, because I need to see more consistency and I need to see more of what they're capable of, rather than just picking like the very best songs they put out. If they put out more songs like the ones they put out, that's immediately gonna jump up to a B though. The Killers are a great band. I would put the Killers at a solid B for sure. Starting to run out of space. Not good, people, not good. Foster the People though, oh my gosh, Foster the People is so good. Pumped Up Kicks, obviously a great song, but the whole album from Pumped Up Kicks, like it was a great cut because there wasn't a song on there that was awful. Like it was all really good music and it was consistent to the sound, but still, you know, changed things up. And it's one of April's and my favorite albums when we first started dating. I'm gonna put Foster the People. Oh man, they're kind of like hovering for me right between B and A. So I'm gonna put them, we're gonna put them on a solid B. Hozier is a great guy. True soul of an artist for sure. I think he's at a solid B as well. Reliant K. Woo! Yeah, Reliant K is good stuff, guys. Listened to that a lot as a kid, and I would put them at a solid B as well. Man, I feel like I need to start pushing more people down to C because we're running out of space up here, but that's not how this works. That's not how any of this works. Taylor Swift. Oh man, Taylor Swift. What's above I the Victor there? Now you know Taylor Swift is one of my jams. Like her music is great, but I think it's a fight between C and B because at the same time that it's great, it's still kind of in some cases generic pop. She's had some flops. And if we're going off of the new Me with Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco, you know, how far below F can we put this? Even though she's one of my favorites, kind of between C and B. We're just gonna put her, oh, it's so hard. You know what, we're just gonna put her at B because she is great, she is great. Then we jump into Passenger. Oh guys, Passenger is super solid. No complaints there. I'm gonna put him up at, oh man, he just might be an A. I think he might be. Like, he creates solid like songwriting stuff. He talks about his own experiences, it's honest. He's done a lot of different stuff with a couple of bands he's been involved with, and he's always got something to say, and the music is so dang good. Now, I don't have Mumford & Sons on here, but if I did, they would be at an A, you better believe that. The Lumineers are a great band. I would give them a solid, you know, like the Lumineers are really good. I would probably just put them at C, because I feel like they haven't been able to break out of the sound that they have, and I'd like to see them go and do a little bit more with who they are and what they are. One Direction, okay. I would put One Direction at a solid D. The kind of solid D that you want to listen to. Little Mix, oh my gosh, I love Little Mix so much. Let's find a perfect place for Little Mix here. Little Mix, F. Yeah, first F that we're giving out today, that is where Little Mix belongs. There's nothing redeemable about anything that they've ever put out. As far as I've heard, it's just about glorifying these people who look really good and who happen to be able to sing and dance in a way that allows other people to edit it to make it look good, so who cares? Cave Town, I'm gonna put at a solid C. I really like what Robbie does. It's some really good stuff. And me personally, like my bias would probably bump it up to a B, but like I know that, you know, he's not on the level of some of those like B level people, so keep him where he is for now. Fifth Harmony, oh my gosh. I think Little Mix needs some company. Fifth Harmony belongs right down there. B, yeah, that's a good place to be comfortable. There we go. Death Cab for Cutie. Solid music. They are right at the C, maybe like pushing a B at times. I think the last one, yeah, Chainsmokers. It's just so weird to compare the Chainsmokers to some of the other bands on this list. But I would put the Chainsmokers at a nice, comfortable little D. Fun to listen to. Every once in a while they have something to say, but when they do have something to say, it feels like they're ripping off somebody else. Don't want to trigger any 21 Pilots fans. I think that's where they belong. So, as you can see, we have a nice little comfortable curve here that worked out pretty well. I'm happy with that. If I had to go back and change any of this, I would probably move some of the C people down to D and some of the B people down to C. but I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. That's where I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Don't forget, you can check out The Ballad of Mona Lisa, described in 6 words, Old Panic at the Disco, so it's good, and then Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, described in 6 words or fewer. Now jump into those comments, let me know what I got wrong. Talk to you guys soon.